So I've made a lot of videos on Underglow so far, but I've not made a lot about the app that you use to control it. And speaking of the app and speaking of the Underglow, let's turn this on. There we go. It's during the day, so you're not gonna see it very well, but there's Underglow. I've made a ton of videos on Underglow. You can check those out in the description below, but I haven't made a lot of videos on the app to control it. So we're gonna be going over the app today. And it's cold, so I'm gonna do it from inside my car. So if we go over the main home button, once you connect to your Ghost controller, and this is through the BlueGhozt lighting app, you have a bunch of different show modes that you can have saved. To make a new show mode, you're just going to press the plus button. And then from there, you can name it, you can change exactly what it is. There's a ton of different things down there, and they're fully customizable with 6 different colors per thing. You got all of these. You can change the frequency, you can change the fade, and you can change the brightness of it as well. So there's a lot of different things that you can change here. To turn it off, simply go back home, make sure none are selected. If something is selected, it'll show up like pink, so you can see you have pink here, or if we're gonna go to rainbow, it's pink. Now to completely turn it off, all you gotta do is unselect it, and it'll just completely turn it off. Now if we go to the car, this is going to be our trigger sources. So there's a few different things you can configure inside of here. Now we have a video where we wired our BlueGhozt controller to all of the different turn signals, fog lights, and so it works with that. So you can see if I turn on my lights, we get the top part lit up, and that means that our Underglow is triggered on based on the lights. Now, if I turn the lights off in the car, you can see it's gonna go off. So it makes it super convenient, and it makes it to where your Underglow is always gonna be off or on, depending if you're in the car or not. So you're not just leaving it on. This is super important because you don't want the Underglow draining any battery. Now it also works with turn signals. I'm gonna put my left turn signal on. So you can say, oh, that's right. Okay, I don't know directions. That's the right turn signal. And I'll put the left turn signal on, and you can see it triggers that. And you should be able to see as well, okay, I'm in the car because I'm cold, but the camera's outside. You should be able to see a pattern, a wave of amber. And that's what I have it selected here. You can make it any color you want. You can make it a bunch of different sequences or types. We'll call these types. These are types. So you can make them a bunch of different types. You can choose the block size, you can change the speed. You can see I turned the turn signal off, and now it turned off up there. You also have your startup animation, and that's where you have your rainbow road or your shutdown animation. That's essentially what this is. And basically when I turn off and on the lights, it's going to have an animation before it goes to the parking lights, which I have made white. Just like that. That's what this is in here. It's your configuration menu. There's a brake signal and reverse signal, but I don't have those installed, and I haven't really dabbled in those yet. Now, to configure the app, which is super important, these are the settings that I have. Essentially, these sizes are just the different number of LEDs in the strips, and you have your different offsets and everything, and that's just basically for all the LEDs configuring. So just make sure your configuration is like this. If you have the BlueGhozt controller that you're dealing with, that's our left, and then this is our right. So that's all you're going to do for this tab. For the power, you can see how much power you're drawing. So I have 12.5 volts that's being drawn here, and we have different switches. So I just have it saved as 1 right here. And the trigger for this one, well, it's gonna pull 12.5 volts. The parking lights are off, so it's not pulling any amps. But if I turn them on to parking, you can see it's drawing about 0.12 amps. And that is just for, I think I have like a low white right now, but let's change it to pink. You can see, oh, okay, it's not changing. Let's go this one. Oh, there you go. See, it fluctuates the amperage a little bit, fluctuates the volts. It just depends on what you select, because some colors take more power than other colors. That's just something to know right there. I'll turn this off. It should go back to a kind of faded off white based on what I have right here. So this is how you would configure your trigger sources. Click settings, and you can rename your switch 1 just like this. I'm just leaving it as basic, so I'm not changing it here. There's a few different options you can have when you touch these. Mine is based off triggered, so everything happens based on trigger. So if the turn signal goes on, it happens based on a trigger. We can see the amps being drawn and the voltage being drawn. In fact, I think if I flash my high beams, nope, nothing happens based off that. So I just flashed my high beams, but nothing happened, only because it's wired to the turn signals and it's wired to the fog lights for its auto on. So this right here is going to be based on this right here. So all of this is in your trigger 1, which I have. And I've triggered the on off, or you can call it the parking lights. I've triggered this to go off the car's fog lights. You can nickname your ghost controller. Mine's FPV. The LED type is RGB. We're in legacy mode, and we can turn on auto reconnect. That just helps it automatically reconnect when you open the app. And that's pretty much it. You can see your Bluetooth connections here, and that's going to be all that is for the app. And so that's basically it. I hope that helped. If you want to see the Underglow install videos or how we triggered everything, check out those links. They'll be in the description below the like button. And stay tuned, stay subscribed, or subscribe if you're new for more lighting videos in the future. I'll have a bunch more, some DIY, some kits. Those are going to be so fun. So I hope you join me for the journey and we can modify our Teslas together.